Are you planning to study in Canada but wondering how much it's really going to cost you? Today, I'm going to hold your hand and walk you through this because if you prepare smart, you'll save yourself a lot of stress later. We're breaking this down into three sections: tuition cost by program level, other costs you'll likely run into, and funding opportunities and scholarships. This is a disclaimer. The cost I will give in this video are based on my own research and what I've actually seen living here. So use them as a guide and still visit the school websites for more information. If you're coming for your bachelor's, expect tuition to fall anywhere between 17,000 and 50,000 Canadian dollars per year. Programs like architecture, pharmacy, law, medicine, engineering, and computer-related courses tend to be on the higher side, while arts and humanities are usually more affordable. And remember, location is a game changer. A law degree at McGill University in Quebec is going to cost you a very different amount than the same degree at Memorial University in Newfoundland. Length is usually 3 to 4 years. The system here is different from my home country, Ghana, where degree is 4 years. Next, we have graduate diplomas or certificates. These programs vary a lot depending on your school and field, but you're generally looking at $8,000 to $21,000 in tuition. Think of postgraduate certificates in areas like personal support worker, construction management, or early childhood education. Most of these programs last about a year, but some can stretch into 2. They're perfect for anyone looking to boost their career quickly, switch industries, or use them as a stepping stone toward permanent residency. Now, let's talk about master's degree. On average, you can expect to pay between $16,000 and $36,000 per year for your master's. There are 2 types of programs: course-based and thesis-based. I did a thesis-based master's degree at the University of Windsor. My tuition was around $27,000 per year, but I was awarded a 70% scholarship right off the bat. Then, a few months later, I landed a research assistantship. And by the time everything was applied, my entire family members paid about $5,000 in tuition for the entire year.
God have mercy upon us.
One of these days, I will explain why I mentioned my entire family. Now, I'll be honest, if I was choosing based purely on scholarships, I would still pick the US over Canada. The US tends to have more aggressive funding packages for international students, but where Canada wins hands down is the pathway to permanent residency. The system here is much more straightforward for students after graduation, which makes it a better long-term investment if you want to settle. Course-based programs are usually more expensive with fewer scholarships. Think MBA or Masters in Public Administration. However, I know University of Manitoba has an MPA program with juicy scholarship. The University of Manitoba graduate fellowship awards master students an amount of $20,000 per year. For 2 years, well, that was my first choice, school, but I was not given admission even though I applied the first week in September. These programs are very competitive. If you want to get into academia, teaching, research, or doing a PhD, then thesis-based is your best friend. If you just want professional skills for the corporate world, course-based is fine. But remember, some course-based masters won't qualify you for a PhD later, while thesis-based almost always will. If you're going for the highest level of study, that's PhD, here's the surprise. It's usually the cheapest. Tuition can be as low as $6,000 a year, and many students pay even less because of research grants. The only challenge is that it takes a lot of time and energy, 3 to 4 years of deep research, writing, and meeting strict deadlines. Aside from tuition, you'll need to budget for your living costs. Accommodation is a big one. If you live on campus, expect to pay between $800 and $1,000 per month off campus. Housing is usually a bit cheaper, ranging from $550 to $900 a month. Just keep in mind that prices vary a lot. Renting a basement apartment in Halifax will be very different from getting a place in downtown Ottawa. Then there are your everyday living expenses. This includes groceries, phone bills, and transportation. Can you imagine that you pay monthly phone bill between $35 to $50 and you can't even use for international calls? Depending on where you live, you should set aside between $400 and $800 per month for these expenses. Smaller towns like Thunder Bay can help you save compared to bigger, more expensive cities like Ontario, Vancouver, and others. Finally, don't forget about textbooks and study materials. This can cost anywhere from $180 to $750 each semester. You can save a lot by buying older editions, getting second-hand books, or using free digital copies from your school's library. You can also visit online sites like Library Genesis to download free books from there. Anyway, guys, the moment you get your visa to Canada, your journey has already started. Even while you're still in your home country, don't just sit and wait. Start looking for online jobs. I know a friend who got a job even before arriving in Canada. When you arrive in Canada, keep searching for on-campus and off-campus jobs. And if you can, try for research assistant positions too. That's what I did. I emailed professors, especially those with grants and ongoing projects, asking. You'd be surprised how many professors are looking for students to join their research work. For me, I'll be honest. During my 1 year in Canada while doing my master's, it wasn't easy at all to get a job. I applied for so many and nothing was coming through. The only job I eventually got was a cleaning job, and even that came through my pastor at church, not through applying online. And even with that job, I couldn't get enough hours. See you in my next video as I talk about how I got this job.